Kamezi Entertainment.
It's Kenny.
Hello, I'm Dylan.
And this is Mike.
And we're here to do a special video on Child's Play. Talk a little bit behind the scenes about the cast, this and that. Then we'll do our review.
Chucky?
I'm not too familiar on the 1988 version of Child's Play. I was about 11 at the time.
Well, I guess you wouldn't remember it, eh?
No, I don't remember it too much.
Okay, well, why don't we first talk about the 1988 version, get people familiar with it, and then we'll talk about the reboot. Child's Play was released on November 9th, 1988. Don Mancini first conceived of the concept while studying as a film major at University of California. He was inspired by the Garbage Pail Kid,
No, my chicks!
But I got another problem and I need your help.
What do you want?
Trilogy of Terror, and the Twilight Zone episode Living Dolls.
She's alive, Daddy. My name is Talkie Tina, and I don't think I like you.
In Mancini's original script, Bloody Buddy, the doll would have been filled with fake blood to allow it to bleed if it was played with roughly. It would come alive after Andy mixed his own blood with the doll. Also, the original script would have been more of a whodunit type of story. Would have dealt more on the effects of advertising and television on children. And it would have toyed with the audience a bit more, making it more ambiguous whether Andy or Chucky was the killer. The film initially received negative reviews after a 2-hour rough cut was shown to an audience at a test screening. Don Mancini cut the film to reduce the amount of time Chucky was on screen. Mancini also suggested that the test screening flopped due to their use of Jessica Walters as the doll's voice. When it released in 1988, Child's Play opened at number 1 out of the 12 other films that were shown that week, grossing a total of $44 million from its $9 million budget.
Is well made with convincing performances by Catherine Hicks and little Alex Vincent. And I guess I should also mention they did a good job on the doll. In the early scenes, it looks so wholesome, you know it has something wrong with it. And in the later scenes, it transforms itself into a truly frightening personality. It was an effective horror film.
It wasn't an effect. It was not for me. No, I mean, I laughed at the doll, and I also don't like to have scenes with children in terrorized situations. You remember, you said at the top of the show about how you were sick and tired of seeing priests being used as villains in a way, or their sacraments being tossed around. I hate to see kids in perilous situations. I think it's one of the easiest, cheapest thrills that you can do.
Yeah, but this is a plucky little kid.
The two sequels followed the same formula. Chucky's stuck in the doll and wants to possess Andy because Andy's the only one that knows Chucky's secret. It wasn't until Bride of Chucky that this formula was slightly changed in a ridiculous way by adding an amulet necklace and completely removing Andy Barkley from the story except for a couple of news clippings. This is also when the series went less horror and almost full comedy going forward. Seed of Chucky would be its last theatrical release, and I think the worst film of the series. But still releasing 2 direct-to-video sequels, Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky. If you'd like to hear what I think of Cult of Chucky, please hit this marker on top of the screen. Now this is where things get a little weird and murky. MGM owns the name Child's Play and also the characters in that movie, including Chucky. But for some weird reason, Universal, because they made their own version of Chucky or something like this, they have the right to the character of Chucky. So they can make any movie based on that character. But they can't use the name Child's Play. That's why all the sequels are Chucky. When MGM contacted Don Mancini about doing a reboot, he wanted nothing to do with it, even going as far as asking for his name not to be included in the title. So MGM decided to move forward with their own reboot and their own style movie, while Don Mancini is actually going to take Chucky into a TV series coming up very soon. Brad Dourif will reprise his role as Chucky in the TV series, but they got Mark Hamill to do the voice in the new 2019 reboot. And that's where we are now.
So is it mostly just the puppeteers dealing with a puppet, or is it a CGI mostly?
Well, that's an interesting question. Actually, I have a video here that'll explain all of that.
Action! He is such an iconic character. something that you don't ever forget. The idea that Chucky is a smart doll, maybe this movie is foreshadowing.
Everything is in a cloud now.
And action!
Chucky, I thought most of it was going to be CGI, but they had like an animatronic doll, 6 of them, that moved and could make facial expressions and everything.
And a big part of getting Chucky right was having animatronics be a lot of the times that we see Chucky.
Seeing Chucky come alive has been very rewarding. It's a difficult process to make him an animatronic puppet, to get this beautiful design transferred onto the doll.
The actual Chucky dolls, the internal structure is a series of animatronics that help move all the joints. It has a plastic exoskeleton we put over top of the animatronics. The skins are made of foam latex.
We call him our Robo-Chucky. Usually takes 3 to 4 full puppeteers completely top to bottom. His face has all the expressions in it.
It's an evil robot. There's nothing creepier than that.
Since you probably don't really remember the old cast, and I do, I can tell you it's probably pretty hard for them to have to recast for the reboot.
Okay.
Yeah, because this cast is a lot different from the 1988 version. So let's actually take a look at that.
I'm really excited about playing the role of Karen. The idea of playing a young single mom was really appealing to me. Honestly, just to work with Gabriel and Brian.
Detective Mike. Mike is very loyal and very trustworthy. He's a police officer. He meets this little kid, Andy, who really doesn't have many friends. But don't believe everything you hear.
Andy, he's more mature than most kids his age, I would say. And he has a hearing aid, which makes him pretty insecure, so he doesn't really socialize much.
Action. Lawrence is dope. He is ready to play. His vision is awesome.
All the way back.
He has a dry sense of humor, so you can't really tell when he's joking.
Roll camera, mount it up.
It's definitely more of an intense vibe on this set. There's a creepy, dark undercurrent, and I just think it's great.
This is Chucky. This is about Chucky. I have never been more excited to be a part of anything than Child's Play.
Like I said, I barely ever remember the 1988 version, but it was quite entertaining, and I jumped, I will admit, I was scared.
It really puts Chucky right in the front of the camera the whole time, where the original Chucky only had a few parts. In this one, he's front and center the entire film. So I would have to disagree a little bit. It made him less scary. It made him, like, true, I jumped a couple of times, but he wasn't menacing to me. But he was still a great movie.
Even though this was a 14 plus.
Yes, I thought it was going to be 18A, but 14A is fine. You know, it still is very gory. He doesn't think so, but I thought it was still pretty gory. Why didn't you think it was gory enough?
I just felt like there should have been like more of like a death blood scene, but this is 14 plus though. I guess I gotta admit that deal with it with what I've got though, like really.
Yeah, but you see a lot of cool deaths. You see people's heads get like ripped off. People's like.
Did you actually see that?
You see the head like go like this to the head. You don't see the whole head, but no, it.
Exactly, they cut that away.
Yeah, okay.
There could be a director's cut down the line.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. And when I was watching this, I'm like, oh, please be an unrated version or something like that. But I felt it was, if it stands on its own, I felt it was gory enough.
Okay.
You know, especially towards the other Chuckies, because the other Chucky, if you watch them, the killers are pretty tame by these times. You know, a slice in the neck, a choke, you know, you hit him over the head. This one, I thought they were very creative, except for the dude who's like changing the lights, taking the lights down off. He just starts wrapping them around himself, and I'm just like, nobody would do that. First of all, you would unplug the lights.
Yep.
I know he mentions that just so people in the audience go, oh, what an idiot. But the fact that he starts wrapping them instead of just letting them fall as he cuts them down blows my mind. And there's this whole stupid scene because of they needed to wrap into the whole blades and stuff. I thought this was so dumb.
So, was the opening similar? Like, I don't remember too much of the opening of the original Child's Play, but was it similar to this?
Not even close. In the original, you got Charles Lee Ray running into a toy store being chased by a cop. He gets shot. Before he dies, he says, "La be do be dembala," and he puts his soul into the body, and he wants vengeance on the cop. In this one...
Yeah, in this one, it was actually just a a disgruntled employee reprogramming the doll.
Yeah, basically the employee got fired and he's just like, screw you, and he's just like, all the protocols to protect the children, like iRobot, you know, the three laws
the three
or whatever.
Laws, yes.
Basically take away the 3 laws and now the doll can kill and do whatever it wants. It can learn like a normal person and react to, like, you know, situations. But no, it's completely different, and I think they're both awesome. I think this one is great. I think this movie's great. The original I love too. I think they both can exist. I think both these franchises can go off in their own directions and do well.
The Chucky universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Casting, though, I will admit, is pretty darn spot on. I don't remember the original too well, but it was pretty good. Their whole acting, the mother, the son, it was quite well done. I thought.
Well, yes, the mother, that female actress, she's more into comedies. This is like the first time I really saw anything serious, and I thought she did a damn great job. She was a very, very loving kind of mother. She was, when it became the serious part, she was believable. What I thought was a little weird, though, is that the casting of the child changed. It went from like a little 8-year-old kid into like a 14-year-old kid. So, and it made it more adultish. But it also, it took away a little bit of, like, you know...
The child innocence, really?
Not child innocence, but the danger. Because this 14-year-old kid, let's be realistic, most 14-year-old kids, they can handle themselves against towards like a little doll like that.
Yeah.
You know, when you have an 8-year-old, he's almost defenseless, you know, to it. So that's why I thought it made it less scary having the kid be older, understanding more, you know, taking charge more. I felt that was a wrong direction.
So what, you would say like a benchmark is 8, or do you say
I'd say
like
10,
10 or 12?
I'd say 10, or you know, a 10 or 11.
Okay.
You can't have the kid be independent, you know what I mean? Because once you have that, he is not even scared of the doll like he should be. Like, even he, I think he overacts a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's a little doll. You go, it's down. It's not the size of a house. When you have a little kid, though, he's almost the same size of the doll. It becomes scary, it becomes intimidating. And all that was gone because now the kid dwarfs the doll. Like,
okay. What about Mark Hamill singing that creepy song?
Oh, the buddy songs.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm your buddy, and I'll kill everybody if you get near my buddy.
I will never let you go.
I thought Mark Hamill did an awesome job as Chucky. I felt like he was almost, like he was comedic. Like, I was laughing a lot, but in like a good way.
Okay.
So let's talk about the actual doll itself. Did you think it looked appropriate for the film?
It felt creepy, actually.
It had a creepy look all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it had this weird smile, it did. As if this would be sold as a toy for anybody.
Yeah, it smile, I'm gonna mention this, but it smile actually resembled a little bit like the Joker of the original Batman.
Yeah, well, I think they did that maybe on purpose.
Really?
Yeah, to, like, you know, Mark Hamill's voice.
Yeah, I guess.
But I would love to have that with my buddy.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Because I would always be his best friend. That's why he would want to kill nobody. I wouldn't start hanging out with anybody else.
And he would be a functioning doll, not a...
But the sad thing is, this guy might have to go.
You gonna off me?
I'm not gonna off you, but my Chucky doll will be like, hey, you're having too much fun with him. And then Chucky will have to be like, ah! And then I'll be like, oh my god, he's dead, what am I about to do? So I got to bury him now. And then I'm like fucking digging a hole and burying your ass, and they have to make up a story for your parents.
Oh.
Probably something like you went to Vegas, you got married, and started a new life.
Wait, seriously? That's the route that you went down?
I guess. I'm not very smart with these things. I'm not very smart at all, to be honest. I probably would get caught. I probably would. The ending, I thought it was a little anticlimactic, except for the whole Chucky controlling the other Chucky Buddy 2 dolls and they start killing everybody. I thought that was kind of funny, but also, again,
it was a little stupid.
It was a little stupid because it's like some of these dolls, they look ridiculous with these smiles. The bear one looked like a werewolf, like basically like a Chucky doll, and you just taped hair on its face. It looked horrible, as if they would ever sell that in a store anywhere.
Damn. I wonder what kind of game I should review for everybody else now. Ah, Gears of War. That'll be perfect. So I must be astral projecting. Oh, this is cool. I can go anywhere I want. I'm gonna go see Mike and Dylan, see how they're doing.
All right, let's wrap this up. What would you rate this, anyways?
I'd honestly rate. Whoa! Kenny, what are you doing here?
Jeez.
Hey guys. So what movie are you guys watching?
We just watched the new Chucky.
Yeah, I went and saw that. It's a good film.
What did you think of the plot?
I thought the plot was actually really good. I thought that the plot, you know, for a reboot, it actually was pretty darn good. Instead of a possessed doll, it's now working on its own accord, which, in my opinion, is a good idea. It was a good direction that the film went in. And I'm happy that it went in that direction because, you know, this is a reboot series, so reboot series need to have different stories, so that way they're not convoluting themselves with the original series. And, you know, that's good. I like the plot. I like the plot a lot.
So what'd you think of the new Chucky doll?
I thought that the new Chucky was actually good. I'm not so sure why they got Mark Hamill to voice him, but he does a pretty good job. Now, granted, I'm always gonna love Brad Dourif as Chucky because, fuck it, that's who he is. He's played that character forever. That's just, he does that character so well. But Mark Hamill actually did a pretty good job. Not to mention, they definitely upped the scary factor of Chucky himself. Like, in the original films, he looked cute and everything. Or at least he looked somewhat cute. He kind of got scary by Bride of Chucky, the fourth film. No, the one in this film, Mark Hamill's Chucky. This one looks freaking scary.
Very interesting.
I love what they did with the puppet. I love what they did with the everything. Not only that, his powers are not supernatural, they're scientific. Because he's basically a smart toy who can do anything he wants with electronics. Almost like a Terminator Chucky. It's just freaking awesome.
What would you rate this, Kenny?
I'm gonna have to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I liked it. I thought it was a good reboot. I do want there to still be Chucky movies with Brad Dourif playing in them. And according to what I've heard, they're gonna make a TV show on the Sci-Fi Channel that'll be just that. And that's awesome. But I also hope that they keep this series going because it's really interesting. And the way that they wrote it and made it was good. I did have one issue though. I didn't particularly like Andy's mom. I thought she was kind of a bitch. But at the same, also, I thought she was too young to even be the kid's mom. But other than that, you know, I mean, I thought the film was great. 8.5. Okay, guys. Well, looks like I gotta get back to my body. I'll see you guys some other time. I'll try to astral project again. Later.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Kenny, and hopefully you become alive again so you can do more videos for our channel.
Yeah,
so, okay, well, bye. Bye,
Did
Kenny.
it hurt?
I think it's gone.
Well, since, is he gonna make another appearance? We should probably wrap this up.
I would rate this a 9.5. I literally love this film. I'm basically giving the knocking the 5 off is because a couple of the deaths are kind of stupid. You know what I mean? I like the gore, but just a few of the deaths just made me kind of scratch my head to be like, you couldn't think of anything else? Like, you're really that desperate to have some guy fall off something? And he could have just fell off because of anything. You knocked the ladder over. Why do you have to tie himself? Anyway, a 9.5. It's an excellent movie, great cast. I think the special effects, great job.
Well, I gotta deny it a little bit with an 8.
It's not that bad, but still. Why?
Because I enjoyed the music, I enjoyed the CGI, the cast was nice, it was near perfect.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is I didn't really like the sinister feel of the atmosphere that Chucky had.
That's what Chucky is, though.
I know, but it's just though it felt like it was too, like even you said, it's just a doll. Kick it away. I know back in like the 1980s, people were scared of dolls, clowns, all this kind of stuff. This is what really brought it out, though, as a sinister doll trying to kill you. I just didn't really feel it was there. Like, hell, I was 11, and I sat through that, and I just didn't feel anything after that.
So the original Chucky killed your soul. That's what you're saying?
Apparently, I guess.
Nice. You never felt again, everybody, apparently.
Jeez.
So how would this Chucky change anything? I hear you. Well, that's disappointing, to be honest. I think an 8's too low. I think a 9 would have been better, but, you know, it's your opinion. Well, hopefully Kenny is back with us one day, and thank you, everybody, for watching this video. There's 4 boxes of other great videos that we do. Please check them out.
Well, let's make sure to leave one for Kenny.
Okay, this one's for Kenny. That's Kenny's box. That's the best video he's probably ever done in his life.
Nice.
Rest in peace, buddy.
He's not actually dead.
All right. All right, that's the end, everybody. Ha!
Is that it?
And watch us disappear.